We're back with Professor Avram Ehrlich, and in this session, more about theology in Tel Aviv.
Betzalel, you know that we go to a minyan together. We pray often at the same minyan, and we've talked about it a lot. My vision for at least some parts of Tel Aviv, the idea was to find some leverage for the synagogue heritage of the city, the Hebrew, the expression of the Hebrew settlement in Jaffa and in Tel Aviv, and the synagogues, how their heritage can be taught in the 21st century. And the very obvious way was to leverage building rights, the air above the synagogue, and that could entirely and simply and effortlessly, with the stroke of a few pens, with a law that would allow that synagogues and community centres over a certain age or can have the right in Tel Aviv to build 100 stories, and of that 10 or 20 would belong to the community and the synagogue and to hospitality and to library and digitalization and to education and legacy and university and audio, visual and games and entertainment and home and care and education and kindergarten and underground parking and good kosher shopping and what it could be just with the air rights. So my thought when we prayed this wonderful venue at Rav Kook's synagogue, the first bastion of this vision of that Israel would be reborn outside of Jaffa, and that it would only be fitting that this law was legislated and first developed here in this site, where I envisioned 200-story buildings in the shape of Rav Kook's poem of the wings of eagles to fly and to arc like the wings of eagle to fly. That the vision. And which behooves the Hebrew vision and the return of Jews to Zion. So that my thought was that the synagogue would be preserved, but the synagogue would be in a beautiful opera house. The Tel Aviv opera, or Hebraic or Israelite opera, where Shabbat is sung beautifully, overlooking from the back of the sunset and looking to Jerusalem. Literally could be seen from Jerusalem, and it could view also the bridges, the harp of Jerusalem. So what a great testament it would be, the imagination, a feast of the poetic imagination. And so this is Neve Tzedek. It's a very cultivated place, and a few great, beautiful buildings are going up there.
We're talking about building like this.
Why not even bigger? Why not the?
But this style of a building, right?
Definitely it should combine the urban and the historic and the legacy and the environmental and the suitable for the Middle East and the dry and the humid and the air and solar panels and high technology and also the social vernacular, and so so many of these things, it could be a real celebration, but certainly of Hebrew and Jewish and a university and a hospitality center and a university that expresses and digitalizes and holographizes the incredible teachings of and the legacy of Rabbi Kook. So all could be achieved in 10 or 20 floors, whilst it is a wonderful landmark for the city. And so that could be with a lot of the synagogues of the city. And I think that would be the beginning of a great renaissance of Tel Aviv as an amazing Hebrew and cosmopolitan city.